Hello, everyone. I'm Dara Bunjon. I am the food enthusiast here at J Moore. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, just drop questions into the comment box and I will check it from time to time. You'll see me turn my head to check. Today, I want to welcome our sponsor, the Pearlstone Center. Pearlstone offers environmentally friendly, full service hospitality. They are a beautiful facility and offer natural surroundings, making it the optimal setting for memorable events and group gatherings. Today kicks off National Hispanic Heritage Month, and what a better way to do so is with our guest, Chef Ariel Fox, who is here to talk about her new Latin and Caribbean inspired cookbook, her time on Hell's Kitchen, and her position of VP of Culinary at Laundry Restaurants Group, and more. Welcome, Ariel.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Other than this interview today, what else is on your plate?
Well, I'm in the middle of opening a couple restaurants in different cities.
Today, what else is on?
So it's a busy September for sure, and going into October. So a lot going on and getting ready for the busy holiday season. I think the restaurants are back. So here we go.
There you go. So just I'm not off. You're VP of Culinary for Landry, but is it which one of the chains is it?
So I oversee the Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse, the Del Frisco's Grills, and all of the Dos Caminos. So I have about 40 locations that I oversee.
So if a new one opens, are you always at a new opening?
Yeah. And we're actually opening a Double Eagle in Pittsburgh and working on a couple other things. So.
Well, it sounds like your plate is full.
It is full.
Abundanza, even though it's Latin. Tell us a bit about your culinary background. And I know that you worked on a family farm, now you're at Landry. Give us an overview of your culinary steps or how you arrived to where you are.
Well, my journey started in California. I'm from California, born in San Francisco. When I was a child, we lived in Colombia. My father's Afro-Colombian. And then we returned stateside. I didn't really, aside from working on the farm in high school, which definitely planted a seed for me in the culinary world, I didn't really start my journey until I was about 20. And I went to the California School of Culinary Arts, the Cordon Bleu program in Pasadena. And I graduated there in 2000. And I did about the first half of my career in Los Angeles, in Southern California, working for various chefs there. And then I made my journey out to New York and kind of have been here for sort of the second half of my 20 some odd years. So, I've done it all. I've worked in the small mom and pop. I've opened airport terminal. I've worked hotels, fine dining, casual, fast casual. So I've dabbled in it all, and I've sort of found my comfort places is working at the corporate level where I balance, the creativity side with the business side.
Right. Since today kicks off National Hispanic Heritage Month, what exactly are your Hispanic roots?
So my father, he's half Colombian. So his parents are Colombian and Black. Afro-Colombian is what we call it. So he's the South American side. And my mom is Irish and German. So I'm a little bit of a hodgepodge there.
You're a good mixture.
I am a little bit of a mixture. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Mixtures are always the best. Absolutely. What did I want to say? In your cookbook, Spice Kitchen, Healthy Latin and Caribbean Cuisine, you dedicate it to Mimi. Who is Mimi, or who are the Mimis in your life?
So Mimi is actually my grandmother on my mom's side. and oddly enough, probably the best chef of us all in the family. Not professionally trained, but self-taught, a world traveler, and just a fantastic home chef. And she was the first Mimi. That was what I called her when I was a baby. Mimi was what I was able to get out. And so we've sort of kept that going. And with my daughter, I made sure that she called my mom Mimi. We worked on it really hard because my mom really wanted to be the next Mimi. So that's going to be our word for grandma, like Nona, going
Right,
forward.
right. Um, you know, Jewish, it's Bubby, everybody, Italian, it's Nona. So, yeah, the one that still gets me, and I know many people do it, is Meemaw. Just
Yeah.
that, I think that's just very Southern. Um, you saw me, everybody. My earbuds turned off when one fell out, so I was busy putting in the other earphones because we love technology here. Okay. Our palates have learned new flavors as many cultures come to the US. The same can be said for the Latin and Caribbean cuisine. Spice Kitchen maintains flavor, but it's a healthy outlook on flavor and these cuisines. So, what keeps the flavor in when adjusting to making it healthy?
So a lot of, adjusting your nutritional lifestyle is really about your base ingredients, your fats, your sugars, your salts, your flours, your starches, that kind of stuff. So really what I've done and something that I've sort of mastered over the last several years is really living a cleaner lifestyle and cooking in a cleaner kitchen. And it really is more about setting up your pantry and your staples up for success. And then you can still use all of your chilies and your spices. I mean, there are some spices that are better than others, for sure. But as long as you're kind of honing in on your groceries, I guess you could say,
Right,
you don't have to take away from all of the other good stuff. So it's really about teaching about how to sub in different, fats, sugars, salts, flours, all that kind of stuff. But it's also, I mean, the recipes work with regular, run-of-the-mill stuff as well. So it can be used either way.
right. But you show them a way. There was one recipe that I think is one of your favorites, and I'll just say street corn. But you adapted it by not using all corn. Why don't you tell people just about that recipe? I think the simple substitutions and changes, and it just makes it healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, everybody knows, I mean, there was a cauliflower craze, over the last few years but nobody wants to eat cauliflower all the time, cauliflower rice, cauliflower puree, all that stuff. But, corn does have a lot of sugar. Corn is not the greatest vegetable for you. It doesn't really give you any value. But we love corn, right? When corn's in season, we love it. So what I've done is simply swapped out about half of the corn. I've cut the cauliflower off of the head and riced it a little bit larger to match a corn kernel. And I've also, instead of using a spicy mayo in it, I did a spicy cashew crema, which is made with simply soaking and blending cashews. It turns into like a mayo type cream that you can use interchangeably. You can make pretty much anything with it that calls for mayo. You can use the cashew crema for. So many nutrients in the cashews, and you're basically eliminating all of that canola oil that you're going to find in your store-bought
Right.
mayo. So it tastes the same. You can't even tell there's cauliflower in it. I served it to my friends at a dinner party the other night. Nobody knew. So just little tweaks.
Right. What can readers expect to find in Spice Kitchen Healthy Latin and Caribbean Cuisine? What kind of substitutions? I see a lot of coconut flour, coconut milk, coconut sugar.
Yeah.
These items I was looking accessible from Bob's Red Mill, Amazon.com. But what can people expect when they open up the book? What are they going to find?
I definitely start the book with a pretty hefty kind of pantry needs list to help you get started. So you can kind of clean out your storage areas, and if you have good stuff in your house, you're going to cook good food. It's as simple as that. What you buy, that's what you're going to cook. What you have around you, that's what you're going to eat. So if you surround yourself with good ingredients, you're going to cook good food. The sugars is a big one. That's probably one of the biggest substitutions for me. I don't know if everybody knows this, but coconut sugar has about half the amount of carbs in it, and it's got a lot of nutrients in it, some of which we have a very hard time getting in our bodies that we need. One of them is magnesium. So coconut sugar, I'm not saying that you should go out and go hog wild with it. As with any sugar, you don't want to eat too much. But if you're going to eat a sugar, you might as well eat something that is giving your body something with about half as many carbs. So the sugars and the fats are the big ones.
So it's basically coconut that's been dried out and ground to a sugar.
Actually, no, it doesn't actually come from the coconut itself. It actually comes from the sap from the coconut plant, oddly enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I learned something, everybody, which I need to learn a whole lot more, but I got that one down for today. Let's see. So I've done that. The book is broken down into categories, and morning soup, small plates, salads, large plate, / sides, desserts, and even cocktails. And there was a particular reason why you did these categories some people do seasonal. Here's your fall menu. Here's your complete dinner menu. Was there a particular reason for this layout for the book?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times, when you're working with some tropical ingredients and whatnot, they're coming from somewhere else anyway, so it's not really seasonal, right? If you're going to use papaya, I mean, we don't really grow papaya here, so you don't have to think about it seasonally. I do try to buy locally when I can, but there's certain things that we don't really produce it here, honestly, in the States. And so I wanted to do it more by section. So if you needed a quick salad dressing, you knew where to go, or if you needed a quick side dish, you know where to go. It just sort of, feels like it flows better for me. I know the mornings is a very large section, probably surprisingly to some people, but I think people knowing how to do a healthy breakfast is something people struggle with. So I wanted to spend some time really giving some energy in that department so that people can, figure out how to start their day with a better meal in their body.
Right. And everybody, we are speaking with Ariel Fox, Chef Ariel Fox. Her new cookbook is Spice Kitchen, and that is healthy Latin and Caribbean cuisine. And you can follow Ariel on Instagram at Chef Ariel Fox. Now, our sponsor is Pearl Stone, has a short film for you. And then we will be back with Chef Ariel to continue the interview and talk about Hell's Kitchen.
Pearlstone Conference and Retreat Center offers environmentally friendly, full-service, farm-to-table hospitality. Our beautiful facilities and natural surroundings make the optimal setting for memorable events and group gatherings. PearlstoneCenter.org.
Here we are. We're back. Let's see if I've been unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. So we were muted and we're back. And we thank Pearl Stone for sponsoring the Food Enthusiast. We talked about the street corn. I know a lot of people are interested about your time on Hell's Kitchen. You were a competitor on season 6, was it? And you came in second or third.
Third, yes.
Yeah, okay. Going in at a much younger age, that was how many years ago?
Oh, well, I was 25, so 15 years ago.
Really? You look good, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking real good. Um, so what was the audition process like? You know, just give us a quick synopsis because people love behind the scenes.
Sure, yeah. At that time, it was talent scouts going out to local restaurants looking for people. And it was very much old school, like cattle call. I don't think they do it that way anymore. I think it's all digital now and online, and you like send videos. But then it was still like a cattle call. You had to show up, you had to wait in line, and for hours, and hundreds of people in each city that they'd go to. So it was a process. I think there was like 7 callbacks until it was finally decided. Very, very different from the second time, because the second time they specifically called me to come back, which was,
right. And that was the All-Stars. They brought back chefs that had been on previous seasons for a competition, and you walked away winning, no surprise. And but you did not take the job that was offered to be a chef at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. Was it Las Vegas? The particular reason why you walked away?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they film these shows kind of stacked back to back. So the season that I was on that second time, I was the first filmed of 2 stacked. So it didn't actually air for 2 years. So I won and couldn't say anything to anyone for 2 years, which was crazy. I had to go back to work and just go about my life. But I happened to meet my husband, and I had a baby. And so I had a newborn baby. Literally, when the show aired, I had given birth. Fun story, fun fact. The show had aired and my water broke when the show aired. And I went and gave birth. And then when the season finished and they announced the winner, at that time, obviously, I had a newborn baby. So I didn't really want to move to Sin City. And I had a pretty decent job. So I called up Chef Gordon and Chef Christina, and I politely declined. And I took the prize money, which was half, and then I declined the position.
I was just curious, what was the prize money for the
prize money was $150,000.
I wouldn't shake a stick at that.
I bought my home with it, so
that's great. And something came of that of good. And did you meet your husband through the restaurant industry, just?
Oh yeah, we were. He was behind the bar. And obviously, a lot of chefs and bartenders somehow seem to find their way to each other. But he's no longer in the bar scene anymore. He actually, during the pandemic, when everyone got laid off and bars closed, he got out of the hospitality business. So I'm still in it. I'm in it for life.
Yeah. Well, there's a passion for food, and you have something to say and something to offer. And that's great. We're all taking advantage of that. Any behind the scenes things from Hell's Kitchen that you felt were funny or odd, or a funny story that you care to share?
I think that it's interesting. People think that, or people ask all the time, how does everyone have so much drama so quickly, right? Why are you guys all fighting with each other? And why do you hate each other or whatever? And people don't realize that, they put you in these dorms and take away your phone and take away there's no music. You're not allowed to watch TV. It's 100% interaction with strangers. And you have to sleep in the same room as some of these people. And they kind of sleep deprive you a little bit. They wake you up really early. They do weird things in the middle of the night to wake you up. So you're a little cranky. You're missing your family. You don't have your phone. We're all on our phones all day long. So, there's a few days before the show starts, 2-3 days of that. So when that first show starts, we've already had like 48 hours, 36 hours of just, each other. And so we kind of come out of the gate already having ideas about each other. So that's one thing that people are like, how do you, like, why is there so much drama? That, yeah, they create drama. And then I'd say the other thing is just, those challenges. Often people ask me, do you know what you're going to make ahead of time? And I don't. I mean, every day those are legit challenges. The ingredients are there, and cameras pause for maybe 3-4 minutes. And that's like all you get to kind of take a minute to really think about what you're going to do. And then that clock starts. So it is intense. The pressure is definitely, it's there. And I'm convinced they turn the heat on in the kitchen. I'm convinced. It's the hottest kitchen I've ever been in my life.
Well, is it set up with ducks? I mean, like a restaurant?
It's a set. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're like in a kitchen.
With lighting.
In a big warehouse with like a million lights because it's a set. And so and then the French flat tops are insanely hot. If anyone who's familiar with the show, those flat tops that we cook on are just the most intense heat. And I mean, at any given, it's 100 degrees in there no matter what.
Yeah, let's see, we have a question here. Working in a commercial kitchen seems intense and full of drama to me. Wasn't TV somewhat similar in terms of emotional trial by fire?
Yeah, I get in a sense, yeah. I mean, the people who succeed are the ones who have learned how to overcome that. I mean, it is trial by fire. The industry is tough, and even back then coming up, I was a female and a sous chef. I was still trying to find myself in the business, so I think that's why I didn't perform as well. I hadn't figured that out. The secret to overcoming all the drama and craziness.
Well, I have to say, Gordon wrote the foreword to the cookbook, everybody. Spice Kitchen, Healthy Latin and Caribbean Cuisine by our chef Ariel Fox. Let's see. I put a little ticket here so I could see. Ariel Fox, this is what Gordon Ramsay said. Ariel Fox is a force to be reckoned with in the kitchen. I knew from the first time she stepped into Hell's Kitchen in 2009 that she had talent, drive, and passion. Her tremendous talent propelled her to the top 3 on season 6 and then to taking the crown on season 18. And there was much more that he said, and I think it's lovely that, he posted in there. Let's see, we're having another comment. With all the changes that have taken place due to the pandemic, labor shortages, supply chain issues, etc., do you think food service has become a kinder and gentler, let's see, why is this, gentler industry? Something was blocking the last word.
Yeah, I mean, I am definitely working with a very different workforce. I think people have realized that they don't need to work the insane hours. They don't need to put up with, the stuff we put up with when I was coming up, chefs yelling at you, throwing things. It doesn't fly anymore to manage through fear. People want quality of life. They want respect. They want to be developed. They want to know the expectation. I mean, just like I think every industry has had this shift because of the pandemic, that it's like, balancing, what my self-worth is and what do I. So, it's something I'm definitely learning how to change leadership. Not that I was a pan thrower or anything, but I am. It's challenging to figure out what motivates the new generation to work and be loyal. And, we're working through it every day. It's different.
I'm just curious, and this is not anything I send you an idea of questions I'm going to ask, but this is off the top of my head. You have a very busy schedule, but I'm curious, did you watch the series Bear?
I have not yet. It's on my to-do list. I have not had a chance to watch it, but I've had very mixed reviews, so I think I am going to give it a go soon. Did you watch it?
I watched it. I enjoyed it. I thought the acting First of all, acting, I think people just blow my mind that are actors and what they can do. So they're acting, they have memorized lines, and they're cooking and they're cutting and they're doing all this. So when they, it's bad enough when it's your job and you're doing it and paying attention, let alone remembering the lines and
Lines.
emoting. So I thought that was fabulous. The ending, I'm not going to say, I have a question mark on that, but nobody's
Okay.
been able to clarify it for me. And I've heard mixed things, like something was on a top shelf in the walk-in, and nobody would have put that up there.
Okay.
But okay, but in general, it definitely gave you the acting. I mean, it was just good, and they're going to do a second series on it.
Oh, okay.
So, based in Chicago, all about Chicago beef and Chicago hot dogs, but more so the life behind the line and in the kitchen. So I think it lets people know a little bit more, and it wasn't, throwing pots and pans.
Right.
It was not Marco Pierre White throwing a hot pan of risotto on Mario Batali. That's not there. So now we're going to come down to my other questions that I forewarned you about. What advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
I think I would tell myself to, that you're good at this and to be a little bit more confident. I took a long time to call myself a chef, and I think I could have done it sooner. I think that I thought I had so much more to prove, and I don't think I needed to do that. There's a lot of the boys who made it a lot further, a lot faster than me, because they didn't have that self-doubt and that imposter syndrome that some of us have. So I would say you got this.
So you got it. You proved it. You're doing it. What was your best bite this week?
Oddly enough, just a simple, like one of the freshest piece of swordfish I've ever bought at the supermarket. And it was fantastic. And I just made a nice little cilantro caper salsa verde with it and some roasted cauliflower. And it was, my husband and I both agreed it was like probably the best piece of swordfish we'd had in a really long time.
Terrific. If you wake up tomorrow morning with a new talent, what would it be?
Probably to sing.
What? To sing?
Sing. I can't sing at all.
Well, a lot of people have said that as a talent, and I've told the story over and over again. When I graduated high school, they tested everyone in the year for singing. The song was When You Walk Through a Storm. And they told me to move my lips, but not to sing. So obviously, that's been on my mind for how many years, and I just don't sing with anybody around. It's not a good sound.
Oh, my daughter tells me to stop all the time, and I'm like, you have to listen to me.
And your epic culinary fail.
I screwed up the first holiday dinner that I ever cooked for my in-laws. I severely overcooked the roast after my husband had been raving about my meat cookery for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I think I was cooking for like 20 people, and I ruined the entire roast. We had no roast beef that year. And that was my first time cooking for my in-laws.
And now the final question. What didn't I ask you that I should have?
This was a hard one.
Anything you want to tell the people?
I don't know. A lot of people ask me, what's next? I don't know. I would love to do a follow-up book with cooking for kids, probably. I love entertaining. So I think there's something there, something that I could offer in terms of, home living, entertaining, cooking with kids kind of thing. We'll see.
Well, keep our eyes out. And our eyes out. Yeah, I think that's the phrase. We will keep a watch. And people, if you want to see what's going on with Ariel, it's on Instagram at Chef Ariel Fox. And I want to thank you. And I end with a big
Thank you
all the
so much.
best. And I have a couple of notes for people before I tune out, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Next week's show will be Adam Lowy, founder of Move for Hunger, as we wrap up Hunger Awareness Month. Adam proudly represents the New York City hub of the World Economic Forum Global Shaper community. In 2011, he became a Blum Helfand Social Innovation Fellow and was honored at VH1's Do Something Awards for his commitment to creating social change. Adam was also honored in Forbes 30 Under 30 in the food and drink category. If you need to reach me, you can reach me email food@jmoreliving.com or my Instagram account at Dara Cooks. All shows are immediately archived in video form on Jmore's Facebook page and jmoreliving.com. Feel free to dig into the past shows, listen when you're taking your walks, your runs, or a long drive. You don't have to watch, just give it a listen. There's some great shows in the archives. We truly appreciate when you share our show with friends and family. Be kind. When you see someone, smile, say hello. As always, may your plates remain full. I will see you next week.